Good morning, my friends. It's Indiana Holmes again here at Disneyland, and I want to welcome you all to a beautiful Friday. It is 73 degrees here at Disneyland in Anaheim, California. The skies are a little cloudy, as you can see, but it is nice and warm. It's not a cold day by any stretch of the imagination. And it is a little bit busy. This is 10:48 right now. So a little later than I wanted to be here, but earlier than I get here sometimes, that's for sure. And also, being a Friday, I feel like maybe it's better to come a little later, but it is busier for sure. How is everyone today? I hope you're all having a lovely day on this October 10th, 2025. It definitely feels like fall has arrived. We have clouds in the sky every morning. It's overcast in the morning, and I wake up to the ground being wet in my backyard and front yard due to the overnight moisture in the air. But it is lovely. This is one of the fun times to be in Disneyland. Every time is fun, really. But I mean, it's very hot in the summer. Not as hot as in Florida, that's for sure. But it's still very hot. A dry heat. And so that can be a little exhausting. When it's cooler, it's actually much easier to be here for like 8 or 10 or 12 hours. You just have to bring a backpack or rent a locker and pack it full of things that you can layer on, like a scarf, a muffler, a sweater, a jacket, etc. But right now we still have pretty warm weather. It's going to be, I think, a high of 76 or 77. I even saw that on one weather report that it might be as high as 81 around 2 o'clock. I don't know if it's going to get that hot, but we'll see. Good morning, Haunted Minnie. You're right, it's 10:10:25. 10:10. And hello, Saucy Glorious. Ah, very good. This is the best thing to watch when you're at work. Disney. Hello, Godzilla and Kong. Hello, J-Bay. How are you guys? Here comes a beautiful black draft horse pulling our horse-drawn trolley. The kind of scenes you can only see here at Disneyland. All right, I thought I'd do a little walk and talk today, give you guys a little education. Maybe some of you know some of this information, maybe some of you don't. So I thought I'd clue you in on a few things. And we're gonna start off talking about a man who was instrumental in building Disneyland. A man who actually found this land I'm standing on right here for Walt and Roy Disney so that they could build their park. A man who became vice president of Disneyland and president of general operations. A man who has been completely erased from Disney history. That's right, Disney, shortly after the park was built, about 6 months to a year later, erased this man's name and what he did from the Disney official history. But there are some of us here still who know his name and what he did. And the person I'm speaking of is a man by the name of C.V. Wood. That stands for Cornelius Vanderbilt Wood. And no, he's no relationship to the famous Vanderbilt family, of whom you might have heard of Gloria Vanderbilt, or her son, who is a anchorman at CNN, he is not part of that family. He was born in Oklahoma. His dad was a railroad man, and he eventually grew up and lived in Texas when his father got promoted in the railroad. Went to college. From what I have learned, he wasn't particularly good at studying, but he had a winning personality. C.V. Wood, known as Woodsy to his friends, and later Woody, of all things, right? No relationship to Woody from Toy Story, but it is kind of ironic. It's kind of funny that he was so instrumental in Disneyland. So Woody was a very, let's see, how shall we say it? He had a winning personality, a very personable man. People liked to be around him because he was one of those people who had what we sometimes call charm. He could charm you into doing things, into believing things. He wasn't particularly good in school at college from what I've learned, but he was persistent at some things. In the Boy Scouts, he worked his way up to being an Eagle Scout, which, if any of you know anything about scouting, that is not something that is easily done. That takes a lot of persistence and a lot of steps to get there. You have to work through a lot of different levels to become an Eagle Scout, earning merit badges for learning and or mastering different activities, different skills. And you have to exhibit leadership and a good character. Good character is one thing we're not sure that C.V. Wood had. As we're walking through Fantasyland here, I have to remember that it was C.V. Wood, or Woody, that actually found this land for Walt Disney. How did that come about? Well, Wood had worked his way through a few different companies, and during World War II, he was actually assigned to build bombers for the United States government, the company that he worked for. He was in charge of managing the engineers and the designers and the actual mechanics that built the bombers that helped the United States win World War II, both in Europe and in Japan. So he came with some very good credentials. At the time when Walt Disney and Roy Disney met him, he was working for the Stanford Research Institute. And the Stanford Research Institute is a nonprofit that was founded by Stanford University, the very prestigious, very expensive to go to, and very well-regarded university, Stanford, up in Northern California. Some people that went to Stanford were some of the luminaries that would later become the titans of the tech industry, including Steve Jobs of Apple Computer. So that kind of gives you an idea. Stanford University is highly regarded for both technical education, as well as just about every other kind of education, whether you're studying to be a law student or a medical student or an athlete for that matter. Stanford is one of the most difficult universities to get into in the world. You have to be a 4.0 plus nowadays. Back then, I don't know if it was as difficult to get into, but anyway, he didn't attend Stanford University. He graduated from a much smaller university, I believe in Texas. But he was working for the Stanford Research Institute when Roy and Walt Disney hired SRI, as it's known, Stanford Research. It was through the hiring of SRI that Walt and Roy ended up meeting CV the land. And he did an exhaustive search for Roy, ended up hiring Disneyland. When the park was finished, he was the general manager. But when they was known to say that he thought that was a pretty high, was kind of a personality conflict. Warm, and he was well known for telling naughty jokes or dirty jokes, blue jokes, jokes that were really only intended for adults and only for certain adults. Walt, on the other hand, was much more conservative. He didn't really like jokes or people telling him jokes, and he detested dirty jokes or naughty jokes. That happened one time where C.V. Wood had told a off-color joke in Walt's presence, and boy, did he get chewed out about that. Never again did he joke in front of Walt. Walt wasn't fond of jokes, and he was a bit of a prude with regards to anything that wasn't super family oriented, super clean. And so this was at the very beginning of their relationship, already a rift between them. But C.V. Wood was very good at what he did, and he managed the entire construction of the park so that Walt could focus on all of the imagination, all of the art and artistry, while Roy focused all on the money and the finances for the park. So C.V. Wood really gained a lot of popularity within the company because, unlike Walt, most people took his jokes as fun and really laughed a lot and thought he was just a great guy, a swell guy, as they would say back in those days. And this endeared him to many people, but not Walt. Roy was the one that took C.V. Wood aside and said, "Walt doesn't like that kind of humor. Don't do that again." So he knew not to allow his full personality of fun to come out in front of Walt. But he did a fantastic job, managed all of this so that it is what it is today. But mysteriously, 6 months after Disneyland was completed, Mr. Wood, C.V. Wood, was suddenly no longer with the company. And there is some mystery behind that. We don't know whether he was fired by Walt, whether he was fired by Roy, or if he just saw the writing on the wall and just walked away from Disneyland on his own. I think it's unlikely that he walked away from Disneyland on its own because he had a big title, vice president and managing director, whatever it was called, manager of Disneyland. One of the things that did great on Walt a little bit is that C.V. Wood was a great promoter, just like Walt. Fiercely independent, just like Walt. Sometimes two people with a similar personality don't get along. And C.V. Walt seemed to be promoting Disneyland a lot with his own name, giving himself and taking for himself much of the credit for building Disneyland. And this did not sit well with Walt, or Roy for that matter. Looking across the rivers of America. Thank you, Haunted Minnie. A nice little view of the Haunted Mansion here. I had to stop for that. So, somehow, 6 months after the park was completed, there was no more C.V. Wood. And in fact, his name was erased from all official history of Disney and Disneyland. He does not have one of those honorable windows on Main Street that they give to so many Disney employees that worked so hard and had so much to do with Disneyland. You would expect somebody like C.V. Wood would have his own window up, second story window on Main Street, USA, but he does not. And so something really bad or just really negative must have happened for Walt and Roy to completely disown him and to basically bury his, wow, there's a lot of people here today. Look at this. This is the line for Pirates of the Caribbean. Woo, that's a big one. For Walt and Roy to basically erase him from the history of Disneyland. However, C.V. Wood was a very determined person, very successful, and he went on to create another park, I believe it was in New Jersey, called Freedom Land, which was very similar to Disneyland. It had different lands like Disneyland, with different themes like Disneyland, very, very similar. Some would say he copied Disneyland after he helped build Disneyland. And I think that probably was an irritation to Walt as well. In fact, there was a special TV report or a TV story done on the opening day of Freedom Land, just like there was at Disneyland, where they showed all of Freedom Land, gave a tour of it, and the news crew referred to it, the reporters referred to it as Disneyland of the East, a true competitor. Wow, look at the line here going out of the park, out of the Haunted Mansion. This is a busy day. This is a good day for a walk and talk history because these lines are huge here today. I knew I should have got here early this morning, but I just couldn't do it. I'm gonna have to be up late tonight because we're going to a musical play with our daughters. We're gonna see Heathers, the musical. Anyway, C.V. Wood would go on. Freedom Land, of course, I was talking about for a moment, opened up to huge crowds, just like Disneyland. And those crowds backed up on the New Jersey Turnpike for hours and hours, just like the giant crowds that came for Disneyland on the opening day. But by the end of the first year, interest in the park was starting to wane, and it was starting to lose its popularity. And just, I think 2 or 3 years later, it was $8 million in debt. And within, I think 5 or 6 years, it declared bankruptcy and closed. And that land was then bulldozed and turned into a tract house development. However, he did go on to found several other theme parks, and probably the most famous one that you would know is he founded Six Flags Over Texas. Six Flags Over Texas, of course, became a huge behemoth where they had eventually maybe 8 or a dozen different parks around the United States and even in other parts of the world, I believe. I went to the Six Flags Over Texas as a kid on a road trip with my parents and my siblings, and it was a lot like what Magic Mountain looks like here in Southern California. And in fact, Six Flags eventually was purchased by Magic Mountain. Now, I don't think Six Flags is the company it used to be. I think it's on a decline, and it may have even been purchased, I think, in the last year or two. But that kind of gives you a little bit of history, a little bit of background on C.V. Wood, who was so instrumental in helping Walt and Roy first find the land and then manage the development and construction of Disneyland. Now, the other thing we see at Disneyland is the amazing trees and bushes, all of the landscaping. This was something that had to be, because Walt wanted to make sure that each area and each land could not be overseen, or at least not be overseen easily from one land to the next. He wanted each land to be a different experience. And so there had to be very, very careful planning and planting, because he wanted trees and bushes that would continue to grow and be beautiful throughout all of Disneyland's history, and also look natural. So Walt and Roy cast around, maybe even Mr. Wood was probably instrumental in this as well, and they found the Evans brothers. And the Evans brothers had made their money and their fame as landscape architects early on. One of the Evans brothers, and I forget both of their names exactly, something like Bob and Jay or something, by collecting seeds from around the world, Africa, South America, etc., and then being able to use these seeds to grow plants here in Southern California for the rich and famous and the wealthy movie stars like Errol Flynn and Clark Gable and all these famous actors that had big mansions with several acres of land, either in Los Angeles or Beverly Hills, etc. And so they had made quite a reputation for themselves around Hollywood and the Beverly Hills wealthy set of millionaires and performers and actors and famous people. So it was to the Evans brothers that they hired to turn Disneyland into a land that was more than just 160 acres of orange trees. But plants are very expensive and very, very heavy. So it took people like the Evans brothers with their ingenuity, their knowledge, and their creativity to give us the Disneyland we have today. And they did this in an interesting way. They pulled up the orange trees and only kept ones. They actually used an overhead map of the park, like an overhead photograph, overlaid with the map of the way Disneyland was drawn out, to determine where they could keep and save orange trees. But they couldn't have a whole park full of orange trees. That wouldn't work, right? Especially, in places like Frontierland or Adventureland or Fantasyland. That's just not gonna work. So they kept some, but they really needed to fill the park with plants that looked like they would naturally belong in each land. And what they did was very brilliant. At this time, when the park was being built, the 5 freeway, known as the Golden State Freeway, sometimes referred to the Santa Ana Freeway, but the 5 freeway, which is just at the north border of the land Disneyland sits on, was being built. In fact, that wasn't quite completed all the way to Disneyland when Walt first bought the property. And as this freeway, and I forget what the second freeway was, it might have been the 405 San Diego, or it might have been the 101 in Hollywood, but there was another big freeway, 2 freeways being built at the same time. They would have to go through, not the Evans brothers, but the state that was building these freeways would have to go through, and their contractors would have to buy up the land or create eminent domain to take the land, and then they would have to tear out everything that was there: houses, parks, streets, and of course, plants and trees. So the Evans brothers were very smart. They only had a $360,000 budget, which was not a lot of money, to fill this entire park with trees and bushes. So they went around to the contractors that were tearing out and destroying all of the trees for the freeways and said, hey, we'll give you $25 for each tree that you allow us to take out of the ground. Now, this is a huge savings, because they needed mature trees, not trees that were gonna grow over 10 or 20 or 25 or 30 years, but trees that were fully mature providing shade and providing atmosphere. And a big, fully grown tree like this one here, that could cost $6,000 even back then. $6,000, maybe even a cheap tree would be $500. And then there was, you know, the cost of moving it. So they bought these trees that were in the way of the freeways, and they charged, or they paid only $25 per tree. And then of course, what they would do is they would dig down to the root ball, to the roots, and they would box up the roots in like 6 by 6 foot or however big they needed to go, wooden boxes. And then they would use cranes and trucks to move these trees here to Disneyland, where they would plant them. Pretty incredible, isn't it? And this is how the Evans brothers were able to populate Disneyland with the trees we still see here today. Now, some trees have gotten sick and died and have had to be replaced, like the 2 trees we're about to see over here. I think these are magnolia trees. I'm not very good at plants and trees, but I think these are magnolia trees. These 2 trees were much bigger, and they had got sick and had a disease and were dying. So a couple of years ago, they were torn out, and these younger trees, exact same kind, were planted here, and they're doing quite well. But there's one tree here that is the oldest tree in the park. I've talked about it before, but we're gonna go look at it. And it's a palm tree. It was planted by the family that owned this land. I believe that was the Dominguez family, if I'm correct, I forget now. It was planted in 1896. And they held many picnics and family gatherings under the tree. Even one of their daughters was married under this tree. And part of the deal to sell this land to the Disneys was the Disneys had to agree to keep the tree alive and keep it here on the land. Now, it's been moved a few times. Let's see if we can find it. It used to be right here, but this is too young. It's probably further back. Hi, how are you? Do you know where the old palm tree is that's from 1896?
I want to say it's this big.
That's what I think too, right?
Yeah.
Because I know it got moved several times, but yeah, thank you. Okay, I asked the cast member. This big one here with the really fat trunk, right here, this is the tree. You can kind of see at the very top there. Let me see if we look at it from another angle. It's difficult to see it. Okay, there we go. That's a better angle. This tree right here, not this one, not that one, but this one here, it comes down right here with the fat trunk right here. That was planted in 1896 by the family who owned this orchard, and the Disneys had to agree to keep that tree in the park, never cut it down, and Walt Disney and then later Disneyland Corporation has kept that promise. It has been moved 2 or 3 times due to changes in the park attractions and the pathways in the park. Okay, here's a great view of it right here. Okay, here it is. This tree here, can you believe it? It was planted in 1896 and it is still here in the park because Disney, Walt and Roy, and then later the Disney Corporation that owns Disneyland has kept their word all of this time. So this is probably one of the oldest trees in all of Orange County that is still alive. I thought that was pretty interesting. So the Evans brothers did a great job. They bought up all these trees during the construction of the freeways and got them for a bargain price. They even went sometimes to, for some reason my phone looks like it's all crooked now. Hold on a second, I'm trying to fix my phone. They even went to people's houses sometimes if they saw a particular tree that they really wanted, and they would ask them if they could buy the tree in their front yard. And that worked sometimes. There was one guy in Beverly Hills that had a huge tree they wanted out in his front yard, And they knocked on his door and they explained who they were and what they wanted. And he happened to say, well, you know what? I've hated that tree for years. He goes, I would love to get rid of that tree. And he made a deal with them. If they would take the tree away, they could have it for free if they would plant a smaller, more conservative tree, not one that was so big and giant and required so much maintenance and so much planning. One of the things I know we've stopped talking about C.V. Wood, but I did remember one other thing about C.V. Wood. A lot of people loved him, liked him a lot, but some people felt that he was a little bit crooked, not on the up and up. And there were some rumors that he might have embezzled money from Disney, from Disneyland, but we don't know that. That was never brought. There was no charges brought, and he was never charged with that. But that's a rumor. But there are people who said that he was kind of a bamboozler, a little bit crooked. But we can't ignore what he was able to accomplish with the Disney's money and Walt's dream. Now, one of the things that makes Disneyland, and really now all the Disney parks around the world, what makes them so successful is something that comes directly from Walt, beyond his imagination. Now we're talking about marketing. And Walt wanted Disneyland to be a theme park that told stories. So each land tells a story of a time gone by, or a time in the future, or some kind of story. Obviously, Main Street here tells the sentimental story of Walt's growing up in Marceline, Missouri, and is supposed to represent about 1905. This would have been what Walt grew up and saw as he was a child. These horse-drawn carriages and this style of buildings. So one of the things that Walt did, and now the Disney Corporation doesn't like anybody using this term anymore. They've kind of disassociated themselves from this term, but Walt wanted his customers, his guests, to follow the Weenies. Hi, how are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Good. To follow the Weenies. And that needs a little bit of explanation. There's nothing naughty about it at all. Walt had a genuine love of hot dogs, hot or cold. It's said that he would often come home from the studio or from Disneyland or wherever he was working, and he would go straight to the fridge and he would get a couple of cold Weenies out of the fridge, and he would eat one right there, nice and cold. And then the second one, he would break off little pieces and he would give it to his pet dog. I forget the dog's name now. And he would have just little bits of the hot dog, because anybody that knows dogs, they love treats and they love hot dogs. And he would go from room to room or wherever he was going, and he would give a little piece of the hot dog to his dog as he wandered around the house or wandered out into his backyard. And he wanted that same thing for his guests. He needed to develop Weenies that they would also follow, right? Like breadcrumbs, right? In the old story, the old Grimm's fairy tale story. So this was something that had to be developed. What was it that they could use to bring people along, to get them to follow along Walt Disney's story? Well, probably the biggest weenie in Disneyland is the Sleeping Beauty Castle, because you can see it from way down at the beginning of Main Street. Of course, it looks small down there, but as you get closer, of course, it starts to get bigger and bigger. And so that was a weenie. The different lands each had to have a weenie. The Mark Twain steamboat was a weenie. The Disneyland Railroad was a weenie. These were things that would draw people into the park to different attractions to get them to go. Wanted his visitors to kind of follow one or another path that he laid out. The Mark Twain is a weenie. The Mark Twain steamboat, the train, the Columbia sailing ship. These were all weenies to get you to move to another part of the park. This was also part of his master plan to only have one entrance, so that you would into 2 to 10 to 20, etc., so that you are following the story in a book. He wanted the park to have a similar type of attraction, not attraction, that's not the right word, a similar type of flow is the right word for it. He wanted guests to flow through the park and be pulled along by these weenies. I think he was pretty successful at it. Some of the things that were here when the park opened are no longer here that would have been fantastic to see back in the day. I wasn't born then, but like the Native American village, which he had here with real Native Americans that were hired to display and educate people about their culture and their history. That's been long gone since they built, I think, let's see, it would have probably been just beyond the Haunted Mansion, I think, where that was. Or it might have even been where the Haunted Mansion is, because when the park first opened, there was no Haunted Mansion, as I recall. Not that I was here, but in my studies. Now, we talked a little bit about the Mark Twain and the Columbia here. I just mentioned them. So I think it's important that we talk about who was responsible for making this. And that would be a man by the name of Admiral Fowler. Admiral Fowler was a Navy man, of course, and he was charged with many different important tasks during the war, and after the war, he also had important business that was non-related to the government, like developing real estate in California and building housing tracts as well. That was pretty popular. A lot of businessmen did that. When they needed to build the Mark Twain, they needed somebody who was an expert in construction, in manufacture, in ships, and in history. And so they found Admiral Fowler, who was at that time, as I just said, was at that time in the business of developing land, I think it was up in Northern California at that time, and building housing tracts, which was pretty dull for him because all his life he'd been involved in very important projects like helping to win World War II and commanding troops, sailors, and projects within the Navy. So they found Admiral Fowler and hired him, and he was very excited at the prospect of doing this. So he went right to work on it, and he was very familiar with the shipyards because so many ships had to be built and launched from places like Long Beach and San Francisco, San Diego. He started having the hull, which is steel here at the bottom. He had this hull made down in Long Beach, California. It's very authentic looking, but it's not full scale. I think it's like 5/8 scale, something like that. So it's not as big as an actual river boat, steam-powered river boat that they would have had on the Natchez or the Mississippi River. And it's also constructed very differently, where the river boats that were still surviving at that time that came before, and there might even be one or two left on the Mississippi River, they were all made of wood, wooden hulls, wood everything, and they had wood-fueled boilers, meaning they had to burn wood to make heat, to boil water, to create propulsion for these stern wheelers, or sometimes they were side wheelers as well. So these were unfortunately not always a good combination, and they were prone to blowing up. The boilers would sometimes blow up, and people would get injured, scalded, burned, ships would sink, etc. So he built his Mark Twain right here with an oil-fueled boiler, much safer construction, and used mid-20th century construction techniques and materials, which were much, much better than the flat-bottomed or low draft boats of the Mississippi river boats, paddle boats. So he was very instrumental in getting this done, but he wasn't just tasked with building the Mark Twain, he was also tasked with building this river, the rivers of America. He had to build this as well. He had to engineer the whole thing. Obviously, he had people helping him, but I mean, he was the man in charge. He dug this trench all the way around here, and it was an open trench for the longest time because there was a track down there that they had to build that this boat, the Mark Twain, travels along, as well as our other boat, which I guess is out right now, which is the Columbia sailing ship. And this was just a very big open ditch thing here with that piece of land, the Tom Sawyer Island in the middle. And Walt Disney absolutely hated this big open pit. He called it, or I don't know if he termed it, but it was termed Fowler's Folly because everybody thought this was never going to work. And in fact, when they first filled up the rivers of America here, it didn't work because the land that we're standing on here, the land that Disneyland is built on, just a couple of feet down is all sand. You know, you have to realize that all of like Orange County and Long Beach and along the coast of Southern California is ancient beach land and probably was ancient seabed land underwater, you know, hundreds of thousands or millions of years ago. So it's not really good for holding water. If you've ever been to the beach and you've seen the waves come in on the beach and go out, some of the water, when it comes in on the beach from a wave, it immediately sinks down into the sand. And this is what happened with Fowler's River here. The first time they filled it up, the water started to percolate down into the sand and clay soil and just started to disappear. So they ended up having to line the river with some other kind of material. I don't think it's concrete. I think they lined it with some other kind of organic, or not organic, but naturally occurring material. I don't know if that was stone or what they did, but they solved the problem. And then the river was functional, and then eventually the Mark Twain that we're looking at here became, as they would say, seaworthy and was successful. However, on opening day, they had neglected to think about capacity. And when the first day of Disneyland opening, so many people got on the Mark Twain here, and you can see it's not that high off the water, that it started to list to one side and almost sunk. After that first day, they decided to put a limit on the number of passengers because they almost had it go over with all the passengers on it. Luckily, there was nobody in the water. Nobody fell in, and the ship continued on. But it was pretty scary. They said water was coming in over the sides because of it being overweighted with too many people. Now, when we talk about Admiral Fowler, we, unlike Mr. Wood, C.B. Wood, who has been erased from Disney history, except for those of us that are keeping his memory alive here, Unlike Mr. Wood, Admiral Fowler is still celebrated here at Disneyland. No, his name is not on the Mark Twain or the Columbia, but it is here, just beyond where the Mark Twain is right now. There is a dock, a little port, a little dock, where either the Columbia or the Mark Twain go to rest for the evening. They go get docked. And right there is a little village, a little sea village where that dock is. I'll show you the dock here. Here's a view of the dock right here. Usually the Columbia is in there, but sometimes it's the Mark Twain. When they were doing renovations last year on the Mark Twain for several months, they were repainting it and putting a new wheel on the back and just painting it and repairing wood and everything. It was docked here for a long time, for months, as they were doing that. But yeah, this little seaport village, so to speak, is actually celebrating Fowler, because Admiral Fowler's name is used here. I'll see if I can show you. And it's called Fowler's Harbor, I believe. You'll see his name here on the building. So this is a tradition that Disneyland has carried on for all 70 years that they've been here. They celebrate their most important artists, designers, engineers, businessmen, those people, business people and women that have contributed greatly to the success of Disneyland. And Admiral Fowler is one of those people. So we'll walk around here. This is the Harbor Galley dock. And if we come around here, you'll see right here, it says Fowler. I'm gonna have to get a different angle probably, but it says Fowler's Inn right here. And that is Admiral Fowler's name being celebrated. I don't know who Christopher Alton is. I'll have to look that up, but he's also celebrated with bait and tackle here. So here is the dock. So right here is where either the Mark Twain would go or the Columbia. And here's Fowler's Inn. I don't see it called that now, but I think this used to be years ago called Fowler's Harbor. Now we just have Fowler's Inn. But this continues the tradition of celebrating great people who helped Walt and Roy build Walt's dream. Hi. We're gonna come up here on this bridge. This is the bridge under which as you can see, the Tiana's Bayou Adventure boats go through. And on this side, we have one of the long, super long, they're waving to us, super long canoes, Davy Crockett canoes. And just below that, you see, this is the path of the waterway that the Tiana's Bayou Adventure boats come through, the log boats. After they drop, you'll see here, the logs drop down this big water flume, this big hill here. You're gonna see one come down right now. And when they come down and they go underneath the bridge that I'm standing under right now. And that boat that we just saw come down, it went under the footbridge that goes past the Haunted Mansion and then connects over to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And right through here, you see where these logs are. And then it goes into that final showroom, the showroom where you have the big antebellum mansion facade with Louis and Tiana and all the characters playing music and dancing in that final scene. So that's a little bit of history for you today about Disneyland and the man that helped build it and find the land, who has been disappeared from official Disney records and official Disney history. This is the Davy Crockett canoe loading area right here. We were gonna do this on Lizzie's birthday Sunday. Was it Sunday, I think? Yeah. With Willow, our daughter, but Willow and Lizzie, they got tired out. They ran out of steam. All right, let me get over to the shade here and see what you guys are saying in the chat. There's so many people here, I haven't really been able to look at the chat as I've been walking and talking, but I will now. Oh yeah, it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday. Yeah, I don't even know what day it is today. It's Friday, so that was 2 days ago. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Haunted Benny.
There's an entire restaurant here. Oh, there is? Yeah.
Oh, the Bigfoot. Yeah, we looked for Bigfoot when we were on the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad, which now they will not let you, if you follow the rules, you're not allowed to, you're no longer allowed to hold anything in your hand. You're not allowed to live stream or even record. But what you're talking about is an underwater, kind of swims underwater, the Bigfoot. I thought it would be better if it was Abominable Snowman, but okay, Bigfoot, that's what the story is. But apparently he only swims underwater about once every 6,000 cycles of the ride, if that often. Nobody really knows. I talked to some cast members and they all said they look for him all the time, but they've never seen him either. There is a video clip you can find. I think Provost Park Pass has a video clip showing that, and maybe a few other people. But he didn't shoot that either. Some guests sent that to him because it's just that rare. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed some of that history. I don't know, I'm so nerdy, that kind of stuff. I love that kind of inside baseball, Disney history. I just love it, but I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. Some people just are here for the rides and the feels. But for me, I'm like a history nerd. I love history, and so I love knowing all about these different historical events and the lead up to building Disneyland, and then the building of Disneyland, and then the success of Disneyland, and of course Disney feature animation and the Disney studio, which has grown so much now that we have the Star Wars and Marvel franchises as part of Disneyland. Okay, I don't know, should I go on Tiana's Bayou Adventure and get soaking wet this early in the day? Because Single Rider appears to be open. I got so incredibly wet the other day, it was ridiculous. But maybe I'll do it. I haven't been on a ride yet today. Only been here about an hour. No, they have signs up now on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad as you're walking through the switchbacks. They have signs up on the wall. It says hands-free ride, no holding anything in your hands. So it doesn't specifically say, I don't think you can't film it, but you can't have anything in your hands, so it makes it hard. And when you're loading onto the...
So my party and you with the scooter head all the way forward.
When you're heading into the ride and you're standing where the cast members are about to open the gate for you to board your train car, they tell you every time, please put everything away, you can't have anything in your hand. And so that's what they're doing at this moment. I don't know if they're going to be very strict about enforcing it, like kicking you out of the park, or what they're gonna do, or if they're just gonna talk to you afterwards. But you know, when you're in the ride, there's no cast members there standing there watching you, but they do have cameras all over that ride. You just don't see them, so they could see if you're holding a cell phone or an action camera or some other camera in your hand. So who knows, at some point they may officially say no recording on the ride, but right now they're just saying hands-free ride. We don't know when Casey Jr. is going to open because they did drain all of the water for the Storybook canals, and they are installing some new things. They're installing the castle for Tangled, and they're installing some signs for Flynn Rider, like wanted Flynn Rider, reward, that kind of stuff. I think they're doing a lot of painting and probably some track maintenance. I thought they would be open by this week, but looking at it, it doesn't even look like they're close to having it finished. You can't see over the walls, so you can't really see where they are in the progress of that. Yes, Big Thunder Mountain has been closed for a while. We just walked by it earlier, and it is still closed. Hello, my friends. This is Indiana Holmes. Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. We are trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. I think we have 1,958 at the moment. So what does that mean? We need like 42 more subscribers. So share the channel, encourage people to join us and to subscribe to the channel. It would be really great if it's 2,000 subscribers by the end of the month, by Halloween. It would be awesome. Right, Kelly? I know. I know, just getting to 1,000, because I wasn't coming to the park on such a regular basis. Now we're seeing an 8 dozen, so probably we'll take the rest of the month. Haunted Minnie just checked, which says 1,960. Very good. I only just started coming to the park on Fridays, Wednesdays, and Sundays, and not every Monday. But now I'm trying to make a more concerted effort to come every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. But if Friday is always like this, I may switch back to Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. Just that coming on Monday right after Sunday is a little bit much, because I do have to read all the stories for the Storytime channel. I hope you guys that are watching and listening to my Storytime with Indiana Holmes channel are enjoying the new book that we started 2 days ago, The Great Gatsby. We started on Tuesday or Wednesday, I can't remember. I think it was Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday. No, we started on Wednesday. Reading The Great Gatsby is kind of amazing because you kind of get to see what other people lived like that were very wealthy back before there was income tax. Back when people could make money, and if you were lucky, you made enough money that you could invest it and get rich quick, or you could inherit it. But just the lifestyle is pretty outrageous to us today when I read through the pages of the way Jay Gatsby and his neighbors lived. Very good, very good. Thank you, Cassidy. Hope you're having a good time over there. I hope I get in this last seat, because that's the seat you get the least wet. The first 3 seats you get soaked. I was in the 3rd seat on Wednesday, and the way you get mostly wet is not so much from the water splashing up in front of you. You do if you're in the 1st seat and maybe the 2nd seat, but the 3rd seat and the 4th seat get really wet from the water coming over the side. It comes over the side of the log boat and it just floods you. You guys look a little wet. I was in that 3rd seat on Wednesday and I was soaked from head to toe. And I didn't have a poncho on. It's no fun wearing wet shorts underneath your shorts. You got a little wet, huh? They were smart. Your sisters here made you the guinea pig, huh? I know what that's like. I have 3 sisters too, so and I was the youngest. So I've been through it. Yeah, the last seat is my favorite there. I'm gonna zip up my adventure jacket here so that I can stay a little bit drier. Hang on, you're gonna have a little wonky look here as I try to get my zipper zipped up. All right, that'll help. I'm amazed that this ride was not busier. The other rides are so busy, but even the standby wasn't terrible. I don't know, I didn't look at the time, but it wasn't backed up all the way to the back like it was on Wednesday. Very nice. Thank you for posting that, Haunted Minnie. Hello, James Paradise. Welcome, my friend. Yeah, while we're standing in line here, getting back to C.B. Wood's story, there is still one man alive here. I think he's like 98 years old or 89 years old. I think he's 89 years old. And that is Bob Gurr, who was one of the original Disney employees to work here at the park and work on the park. And Bob Gurr famously said that C.B. Wood was, I can't remember the exact words he used, but I think he said he was a crook or something like that. He was crooked. So he was one of the few people who actually said it out loud. Perfect. It's my favorite seat. Yeah, it's the driest. On Wednesday, I was in the middle seat, number 3, and I was soaked head to toe.
I think you like it. Yeah, good choice. I'm happy with
it. All right, I'm getting my favorite seat, so I should get less wet than on any other seat. That's a good way to start out the day for my first ride. Good seeing you guys dry. See you on the other side. Well, you're pretty safe in these 2 seats. But these guys are going to get soaked. I was in your seat on Wednesday. I was soaked head to toe. This is the problem. People step on the seats with their wet feet, and then you get wet just as soon as you get in the seat. Very good. The other good thing about the seat here in the back is there's a footrest for your foot. You don't get that in any of the other seats, except for maybe the first seat. Try to get something there to put your feet on. Linz needs a wipe? Okay. work on that some more when we get off the ride.
Hey, y'all! Thanks for helping me look for musicians for our party tonight. Louis, they're on their way.
Hello? Anyone down here who can blow a horn and jam? Hello?
You don't? Well, that's all right, Louis. We're just hitting our stride.
All right, first big drop.
Tell the people not to told you so. This man she found can play. Hallelujah.
I'm asking all of them to play at the park. But we've got to keep searching high and low.
How long can I go?
So far I've survived, only my legs got a little bit wet.
Attention, y'all. Remain seated because your logs are about to get going. Hallelujah.
Uh-oh, I wonder if we're stuck. There are no boats going up the ramp. And more boats are banging into the back of us. Let's see if we get, okay, we're stuck here. I've been evacuated off this ride once before, but never at this spot. I was evacuated at the area right before we go into the final room, after we drop down the big drop. Yes, it's true, Randy. I've been on many a broken ride. You know it's serious when they turn all the music off. So they turned it off once and then back on, but if it goes off again, we're getting evacuated. I like these beignet ears.
Seems like a temporary delay. Please remain seated and our journey will resume in 2 shakes of a gator's tail.
Okay, anybody taking odds on whether we get evacuated or not? I'd say it's more than a 50-50 chance at this point. I can see water coming down the ramp, but I do not see the gear that pulls you up moving at all. Up, now I see it moving. Okay, now the gear's moving again, but there's no boats moving yet. That's the ramp right there. Who knows? It's crazy. Well, we're just stuck here. I don't know. Maybe we'll get out. Maybe we won't. Not to take bets. Not for money, but just take bets in the chat as to whether we're going to get out or not. I blinded myself now with that light. Now I can't see anything except for spots in the dark.
Attention inside Tiana's Bayou Adventure ride. To be powered down immediately, you may experience brief vehicle motion. Please stand
they're
clear.
Going to power the ride down. That sounds like the first step to evacuation. Yep, lights just came on. Froggy's frozen.
Attention inside Tiana's Bayou Adventure ride to be brought out of show conditions. Work lights to be turned on. Fog effects to be turned off. Show to be disabled and audio to be muted. Please stand clear.
I think we're getting evacuated, guys. I don't know. Something about me in this ride. This will be the second time I've been evacuated off the ride. Definitely not as charming in the
Hi there,
dark.
friends. Please remain seated at all times. A cast member will be with you momentarily.
Looks like this stuff over here is foam. I always thought it was cement, but it kind of looks like foam. And like pieces of foam have fallen off, or maybe it's cement. But if you look down at the ground, you can see that. That's not very attractive. I mean, you don't see this in the dark, of course. This is some kind of a hatch right here. Look at this. You can see there's a there's like a big latch to open this hatch. I'll show you. You see that right there? That's a hatch. Probably for some kind of mechanical thing. Gregory, you were here with me the first time it happened? Yeah, the last time we were here, they said we could not film backstage when they took us off the ride. We'll see if they make that announcement this time or not. If they do, I can't film it for you guys. I don't want to get put on the bad list or kicked out. But if they don't say it, then maybe we do get to film it. There's a lot of weird little yellowy stuff here. I guess it's supposed to be moss. It was also on a Friday, and it's not even Friday the 13th. Yeah, when you look up, like, look at this thing over here by the light. You can see, like, that looks like stuff is just falling off. It doesn't look like it was supposed to be like that. Whatever this black stuff is, it looks like there's insulation foam here. And then it looks like they spray painted the insulation foam. And it looks like the insulation foam is just falling off of the concrete behind it. So there's the concrete. And then you get this yellow spray foam, which is insulation, and then this black stuff, which is like flocking or something, you know, like tree flocking. I hope nobody has to go to the bathroom. The sound of all this water. How many boats are? How many boats are back there? Can you guys see? You can't stand up because then you get in big trouble. So I'm not going to stand up, and I can't look behind me because the last seat here has a very high back on it. Inspiration falls down the big drop and go into the big room.
Howdy there, folks. Our logs have stopped due to operational difficulties. Please remain seated, keep your hands and arms inside your log, and a cast member will be with you momentarily. Thank you.
So, for those of you that don't know, I'm sure you do, but Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Forbidden Eye breaks down multiple times per day, most days, as does Tiana's Bayou Adventure, as does Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad. So you always run the risk of being on one of those rides when it breaks down. I've also been on one of the old rides from Fantasyland, Alice in Wonderland, when that broke down for me one time.
Again,
right
friends,
in front of all
fully
of
seated
the
in your seat. A cast member will be with you momentarily. Thank you.
Broke down when I was just right in front of all of the playing card soldiers, the guards, and those guys have been broken for weeks, maybe a couple months. They haven't been animated. They haven't been moving those animatronics. Oh. I'm sure it's not asbestos. They wouldn't allow that. I think even in the 1960s, it was well known that asbestos was carcinogenic and harmful, and they stopped using it. And this was built, I think, in the 1970s, or maybe later. It might have been the 80s. I forget how long this has been here. Oh, there's another hatch over here. Another hatch right there. One there. And one there. Next time my wife asks me why I haven't done the dishes, I'm going to say operational difficulties. I had operational difficulties. Oh wow, Splash Mountain was 1990. Yeah, so there's definitely no asbestos in here if this was built in 1990. This is just all that spray foam insulation they use. When they make these rides, they use huge hoses and special equipment to spray the concrete on the walls of the structure. And then if they use insulation, they would spray that yellow insulation on top of that gray concrete. One time I was at a party just by chance, and it's completely not related to Disney, and I met, as you do at these parties, neighborhood parties, I met a man who, you know, in chatting with him, asked him what he did, as you do, and it turned out he was one of the big-time managers. He didn't give me his full title. He was a big-time manager for the concrete company that does all of the spray concrete for all the Disney parks worldwide. So he has to travel all over the world. And it was a technique and machinery that they developed to do this a long time ago. Yeah, hi Busy Bee. Yeah, I never looked at Song of the South in that way either, but you know what? I think that, you know, first of all, when I saw it, the several times I saw it, I was a child, and I wasn't even really aware of racism as I grew up in a very multicultural neighborhood among people of all different colors and races. So that was like not even something we even thought about, or at least not as children. We all played together. But I always loved Song of the South. But then, you know, growing up and getting older, I do understand how people of color, especially black people, of course, who were the primary object of slavery, you know, 400 years ago, and even up through the founding of our country, I do understand how they would be offended by the way in which the black slaves were portrayed as happy slaves. So, I mean, everybody can disagree on this, but I'm always going to side on the side of being kind to people. And if people's feelings are being hurt, or they feel like they're being targeted or misrepresented, or their culture is being misrepresented, I'm nobody to say, no, you're wrong. You know, I'm not going to say that. I would always defer to the people that are actually being portrayed in these kinds of entertainments or things. So I understand why it was taken down, but I also know many African American people that loved Splash Mountain and had no problem with it. But, you know, I think it just depends. Yes, I agree with that, Monarch. I agree with that. Oh, we've got some cast members out now here. Yeah, in terms of storytelling, this big drop does seem a little bit odd from The Princess and the Frog, because I don't remember a big drop in it either. Yeah, it's going to be an evacuation for sure. Yeah, I think people can agree and disagree.
Thank you for your
Absolutely.
patience, folks. Please remain seated at all times. Thank you.
I just look at it this way. You know, if you get in an argument with your wife or your husband, sometimes being right and correct is not the best decision. Sometimes it's better to try to end the argument without trying to absolutely be right and correct, and maybe just keep the peace and try to get back to kindness and love. That's what I try to do in my relationships. Yes, I got evacuated at a Space Mountain one time too. I'd forgotten about that till you mentioned that. it looks so cold and so ordinary when they turn the lights on in Space Mountain. It just kind of looks like any roller coaster in any place, in any park, anywhere in the world, except of course it's indoors, and it's just a big
Howdy
circular
folks, once
spiral
again, thank you
thing.
so much for your patience. We'll have someone with you right away. Please remain seated, keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside of those logs until a cast member assists you. Thank you.
Well, being evacuated is fun maybe the first time, but after the first time, it's just sort of a waste of time. You're just wasting your time sitting here in the log and not being able to go experience the rest of the park and the other rides. So it's kind of a giant time suck. Oh yeah, getting evacuated off the Matterhorn, that would be cool. I would enjoy that. I never get to see the Abominable Snowman long enough on that ride because it speeds by so quickly, and you just barely get a glimpse of him. Every time I've tried to film that, it's so herky-jerky when you get to that part of the track that, you know, I don't get a really great view of the Abominable Snowman. So I'd love to be evacuated where I get to walk past the Abominable Snowman and his whole scene in that mountain. I'd really love to get evacuated off the Matterhorn and get to go down into the basketball court that's in the middle of the bottom floor of the Matterhorn. I've always wanted to see that basketball court. I mean, I'm not stressed that I'm stuck here in the log, but I feel bad for people that maybe are coming here for just one day, and maybe they've come in from another state or somewhere out in the country or another country, and every minute and every hour is precious. Then this has got to be a big disappointment to them. Oh wow, that's so cool. You get to go down the mountain steps? I would love that. I've seen people get stuck at the top of the ramp, like right when it comes off, like before the drop, and they have to walk down. There's steps right behind these cast members here. See that? To the right of the ramp, there are like steps, and they have to come down those steps. But I've only seen it from the outside. I've never seen them actually come down the steps. Yes, it's true, Haunted Minnie. I've been evacuated, but it was after the drop and before you get to the last showroom where the big antebellum mansion is, and everybody's singing, Louie and Tiana and everybody. So this is a new place. Okay, now we got 3 cast members. You think they'd be able to evacuate people faster? Maybe there's a certain number of cast members they need to have. They usually give you a pole to hold on to as they help you get out of the boat. Luckily, I didn't get too wet. We didn't go down the big drop yet. They're going to start from the back and work their way forward. So I don't know how many boats are behind us here. Let me turn the camera around and then you guys tell me how many boats you see behind me.
They're gonna help us out.
You able to count that? If you're able to count that, put in the chat how many boats you saw behind my boat. Busy Bee, excellent. I'll be here next week as well. I think I've already got my reservation for Wednesday and Sunday. 5 boats behind me? Okay, thanks, Busy Bee. I appreciate that. Maybe I should have went to Knott's Berry Farm today. That's on my list. Lizzie and I are always going, oh, we got to go to Knott's Berry Farm, but we're always so busy. It's hard to find time to do it. Yeah, we do. We have an Knott's Pass, but we don't go nearly as much as we should. And the main reason for that for me is that you're not allowed to film on any of the rides. I know some people have managed to do it, but they make you take everything off your head. You can't have a hat. You can't wear glasses. And I do wear glasses, so half the fun is being able to see where you're going, what you're doing. But they don't let you wear glasses. And they don't let you have your backpacks or your cameras or your cell phones or anything. And they've gotten so strict that just last week, I believe it was, they've installed lockers now before some of the big rides. And they make you put everything in the lockers. And they charge you $8 for the locker. And the lockers are like right at the entrance to each ride. So it's kind of unsightly and stuff. Lizzie and I are unhappy about that, but we like to go there because their decorations are really great for the different holidays. And they do have some good shows. They have a Native American show there with like hoop dancers. And then they have like usually a country western band outside. And we do like the trains they have and Camp Snoopy and stuff like that. We love the ice show. We love going to the ice show there. And the food is pretty good in some of the areas. In the Mexican Village, it's really good. Other areas, not so great. Although we did have a really good dinner. Not the chicken dinner. That's not as good as it used to be. Mrs. Knott's chicken dinner is not really all that it used to be when I was growing up. Or even like it was as good 10, 20 years ago. But we went to another restaurant. It was sort of like a steak restaurant or something. And that was good. But mostly the only thing that you can do there is walk around and, you know, stream or record, but not be on the rides. Now Lizzie, as some of you have heard from me before, is a roller coaster fanatic. She loves to go on all the roller coasters, and I can't really handle the roller coasters much because I just get nauseous and dizzy and have to sit down for a half hour after each ride, like Montezuma's Revenge or, you know, any of those different ones. So when we go there, it's usually me sitting eating an ice cream while Lizzie's going on roller coaster rides. Yeah, we'll probably go to Knott's sometime in the next week or two. We keep meaning to do it, but we keep forgetting. Oh look, here's all the people getting taken off behind us. Oh man. Let's see where they're going to go. Oh, they must have be going through that door that the cast members came out of, which is just before the incline.
Hi, Anthony, can you pick up a ride phone?
I'm going to run out of battery power here in a minute.
Just one moment, okay, guys? Clear?
Hi, how's it going? Alright. You want us to come out?
We'll let you know. We're going to start with number 5 when we start.
Sounds good.
You good? Alright, number 5, watch your step. I'm going to give you this hand. Alright, number 6 coming up. Watch your step. Do you want me to take your camera?
I got it. Thanks.
Watch your step.
Thank you. All right. We've made it. We've made it out. I guess they're going to hold us all up here and then take us all out at once. Oh,
Good job.
they're going to start going or no? Hello, my friends. If you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, and hit the notifications button so you don't miss any of our content.
Watch your step, guys.
We are trying to get to 2,000 subscribers, and we're about 40 subscribers shy of that right now.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, how are you?
Be here all night.
slippery here. There's the ramp. And now we go backstage. It's like big sound stages. Ladder up here. Oh, you can see what the spray cement looks like right there. Okay, you can see how they sprayed the cement here. It's all sprayed. And you can see the rebar. Some L-shaped steel, some PVC pipe, emergency lighting or lighting that they use to work on things. Okay, we're going to be going out this hallway here.
You guys get your park tickets out and further ahead, they'll give you guys a light.
They say they're going to give us a lightning lane here. Oh, look at this. You can see all the wood here. So it's not just out there on the outside, but underneath here as well. From when this used to be Splash Mountain, this wood was really important. I will clean this lens when we get out of here. I think I'm gonna have to swipe away from the live stream for about 30 seconds, maybe 60 seconds, because they need to scan my barcode because they're gonna give me a lightning lane for this. Okay, we made it out. So they scanned my barcode and gave me a lightning lane pass. I don't know how you use the lightning lane pass that they've given us, if I have to schedule it or if I can just use it. I wish they'd given us some instruction on that, but all right, doesn't matter. Oh look, it's Tigger. Tigger!
Bye, Tigger!
Okay, let's see here. I need to set this camera down for a moment so I can plug in my battery because I burned up a lot of battery sitting there. So just give me a moment here, guys. Hang on. All right. I wonder if I can ask them how we use the lightning lane pass, if she's still there. I'm gonna ask her. Excuse me. Can I ask you how we use the lightning lane pass you just gave us? Can we use it anywhere, or how do we use it?
If you check the app, it'll tell you where can I use this, and it'll give you a list of attractions that you can use.
And then you can schedule it. Okay,
yeah.
super. Thank you.
You don't need to schedule it. You can just show up at that location.
So you don't have to be there at a certain time? Just certain...
Yeah, you have until the end of the day.
Okay, super. Thank you so much. All right, that's cool. You can use the lightning lane pass just showing up anywhere. But there is a list of which rides we can use it on. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys caught that, but you could probably scroll back through the live stream right now. But as we were just before we were going to exit to get that lightning lane pass from that cast member, I was showing you all that wooden superstructure. Right there was a little house built into the, it was like a wooden house with a little tiny roof and a little doorway that was built into that wooden tree structure. And so that was probably the house for one of the characters, like Owl or somebody. I don't know. No, that would be Winnie the Pooh. But for one of the characters from Song of the South, one of the animated characters. So some things still exist from Splash Mountain besides the mountain itself, which looks nothing like Splash Mountain looked before, because they lopped the top of it off and changed all the vegetation. But that part that we went through there was still pretty close to its original form.
We're on the bench, the bench. Why do they both say the same thing?
Yes, guest services people are great. And I know they have to deal with some tough situations too. I mean, people can be like upset and angry and frustrated and take it out on cast members, which is just a terrible thing to do. When we were very young and Lizzie and I were first married, one of her very first jobs, I think it was her first job. Yeah, her first job once we were married was in customer service for a computer company called, let me see, what was that computer company? It doesn't exist anymore, but it was a computer retailer, and it was called something like Creative Computer, I think. And they were great. I used to go there and buy Apple equipment all the time, and the staff there was really great and stuff, but they had a big online website for sales as well. And people would call in to customer service where Lizzie worked, and they'd often have problems with their software, their hardware, and they needed help, and they'd be really upset, and they wanted exchanges, and boy, she had to put up with a lot of stuff. She would come home sometimes in tears because people would be cursing at her and yelling at her, you know, and none of it was her fault, but she had to deal with it. Okay, I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick, so I'm gonna put you guys on a I'll be right back screen. It won't take me long. I just have to run in and go do what I gotta do real quick. So hang in there, chat amongst each other. I'm gonna turn the microphone off too. If I can remember how to do that.
Es el 2000 también, igual que tú, ahora todas.
All right, boy, it was busy there. It is busy here in general. Today is super busy. All right, let's see here. See if we can get rid of Meadow here. It's always difficult to get rid of this little dog. She does not like to go away. There we go, now we're back. All right, well, let's see, maybe we'll walk off this direction. Let's see, I've got my battery plugged in. I don't know if it's actually charging. Let's check. All right, let's hope it's charging. If not, you'll see the screen go black, and then we'll have to wait until we charge it up. But I've got it plugged into the external battery now. I've got that new iPhone 17 on order. Hi, how are you? And hopefully that will have much better battery life than my old iPhone here. Hello, 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 and welcome everyone. This is Indiana Holmes. Thank you for joining me today at Disneyland. It's a very busy Friday. Kind of warm now, 78 degrees, but we have partial clouds, so it doesn't feel super hot. And the sun, of course, is lower on the horizon than it used to be, or lower in the sky, because summer is over. Hey, what day do we change? Does anybody know what day we change back to the other time zone, the fall back time zone for daylight savings time? I really dislike changing back to daylight savings time. Okay, if I was going to use a lightning lane, I think it would be here at Rise of the Resistance. Let's see what the time is for lightning lane. This is going to be busy no matter what. November 2nd. Okay, so we've got till November 2nd. Thank you for that. Who was that? Toy Soldier? Toy Soldier Mike, thank you for that. Oh my gosh, 95 minutes for standby. Lightning lane has a huge line, huge line in the lane. So I'll probably skip that, I'm guessing. Let's see. Yeah, the line's all the way out here, even for lightning lane. Do you know how long the wait is from this point for lightning lane?
Probably maybe like 10 minutes.
Only 10 minutes? Okay, I just got a lightning lane pass from being on Tiana's Bayou Adventure because it died. So I guess I just go here and show you the pass?
So unfortunately, the only passes you'll get from attractions breaking down that work here, that will be passes that we give out.
Okay.
If you are able to pull it up on the app, I could show you a list of all the attractions you'll be able to use with that pass.
Okay.
Just because we're a separate tier attraction, they're super sensitive and they like us to only have them here for our.
Okay, hey guys, hang on a second. I'm gonna have this cast member help me. A bunch of other ones too, but like I'm not gonna waste my lightning lane pass that they gave me on Smuggler's Run, because I can just go on that and just walk on that. And then the other one is Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railroad, but they're not allowing you to live stream or film or have anything on your hand on that ride anymore. So we're gonna head back down here, past the way we came to Haunted Mansion, and use our lightning lane pass there. So stay tuned for Haunted Mansion Nightmare Before Christmas overlay. Yeah, that line for Haunted Mansion was pretty big today. It was huge, actually. So, kind of lucky that Tiana's Bayou Adventure broke down. Because we got a free Lightning Lane pass. I have never personally bought a Lightning Lane pass, nor has Lizzie. We're just sort of against them, but we are coming here with her sister and our brother-in-law. I think next week, I can't remember which day, Saturday or Sunday, not this weekend, but I think the following weekend. And we'll probably buy Lightning Lane passes on that day because they can only come for that one day. And there are some physical limitations that they have. So standing in line for a really long time is not going to be good for my brother-in-law. And so we'll probably buy Lightning Lane passes on that day just because we want them to experience as much as possible and not have to stand in the line so much. Really? Fall break? I didn't even know there was such a thing as fall break. I thought there was just like Thanksgiving break. I know a lot of schools started in mid-August, especially like colleges, but some, oh, look at the ducks. I love the ducks at Disneyland. Okay, off to Haunted Mansion we go to use that Lightning Lane pass. Hello everyone. If you're just joining us and you missed any of the live stream earlier, you can wind it back and watch me get stuck on Tiana's Bayou Adventure and watch us get evacuated off and get to see some backstage construction, some backstage and back of the ride kind of industrial looking stuff. And then if you want to know some Disney history that probably is not that well known, you can wind all the way back to the beginning of the live stream where I talk about C.V. Wood, who was hired by Walt Disney and Roy Disney to find the land that we're on today, to find the 160 acres here and help buy it all up so they could build Disneyland. And you can learn about his work with Roy and Walt in the construction of Disneyland. And you can learn about the Evans brothers and how they did all the landscaped architecture here, all the plants and trees. And you can see in this live stream, if you rewind it, the oldest tree in Disneyland and possibly in Orange County, planted in the 1800s, late 1800s, 1896 I think it was. Okay, here we go. This is a treat for me. I never get to do Lightning Lane, and definitely not Lightning Lane here at the Haunted Mansion.
Oh, Monica, when your friend says my flower, what did you say?
Stop here for a second. Okay, I'm gonna have to put you guys away for a moment while I show them the Lightning Lane pass. Your Lightning Lane. So shouldn't be too long because I'm in the Lightning Lane. I think this is maybe the second time I ever used Lightning Lane. That other time I got evacuated off Splash Mountain, they did the same thing and they gave us a Lightning Lane pass. Maybe one other time, I don't remember. It's feeling pretty warm now. Let's see. currently 81 degrees here at Disneyland, so that's kind of toasty. It's a little bit warmer. Oh yeah, absolutely. I could definitely do Winnie the Pooh after this ride. I love doing Winnie the Pooh. That's one of my favorite rides. It's simple and it's cute, but just like the Fantasyland rides, I love those. Gives you the opportunity to experience some of your childhood stories and fairy tales and books in a ride-through format. That cemetery, I don't want to live my life with the dead. Excuse my terrible voice. I got to see the Ramones once, and I was just, you know, when they were famous, way back when they were new, when New Wave and when punk was new. And man, those guys would come out on stage, another after another, with no commentary in between. There's the famous 100 or 200 of those little toy wind-up monkeys. Well, they're battery-operated monkeys with the cymbals, and they put them all throughout the Haunted Mansion. And they had no way of turning them off. They would have to go around to every single one and turn them off. So they just left them on. And after the park was closed, they would stay on, and they would just continually do that cymbal chiming thing. And it drove everybody crazy trying to find them all and turn them on and off. And so they just let them stay, I guess, until the batteries died. And then after that, they never did. I think there's also in the walled garden over here, in Madame Leota's garden over here, I think there's also one in there made out of cement like this one that we just passed. All right, boy, this is so much faster in Lightning Lane. This will be great for my brother and sister-in-law. They will love how fast we go through here.
Like a coffin against that railing on your left, everybody. Don't be shy. Get to know your teammates, whoever you want. Yeah.
Come on down, follow Jamie down, please. Anyone, someone.
I guess I get to go that way because I'm Lightning Lane also. I don't know.
Step quickly, everybody. I've seen corpses move faster. We're ready to cross the room. Hold that dead space.
That it seems, in a place that perhaps you've seen in your dreams. For the story that you were about to be told began in holiday worlds of old. I know you're curious to see what's inside. It's what happens when two holidays collide.
Liz, watch for UPS. I've got 2 UPS packages coming today, so keep your ear out. One of them might be my phone, so it's important you pick it up right away.
It's a tale that's quite charming, but during this season, it's sometimes alarming. So relax and reflect. Feel free to take
it up right away.
While we tell you a tale about dear Sandy Claus.
Hello, Jack. Style and rectals. And you drag your bodies away from the walls.
Okay guys, I'm not gonna talk during the ride, but you guys chat amongst each other. I won't be able to read the chat. Text is Holmes. Text is Holmes. Okay, so your text Liz Holmes. Liz, look out for 2 UPS deliveries. One of them might be my phone today, so please make sure you pick them up off the front doorstep.
Sit back, rest easy in your black Christmas sleigh. Your sleigh will accommodate 1 or 2 more. We hope you relate Jack as in snow.
We're not moving. I hope this didn't break down too.
This year he's decided to play Sandy Claus. But when Halloween creates Christmas, you might see a few flaws. And now, a dark carriage will take you away. Sit back, rest in peace in your black Christmas sleigh. Your sleigh will accommodate 1 or 2 more. We hope you're prepared for what Jack has in store. Don't pull down the bar. Look down, please, and keep a close watch on all children, please. All good girls and boys must sit safe in their seats. Keep in their sleigh, all hands, arms, legs, please.
Notice how Madame Leota is now in a Christmas ornament and not in a crystal ball.
Rule the future and transcend. 11 candles floating, the scent of mystery in the air. 10 telling tea leaves that swirl with secrets yet to share. On the 9th day of Christmas, my ghoul love gave to me 9 magic crystals that sparkle with a force that is pure. 8 balls of knowledge that answer with a truth that is sure. 7 pearls of wisdom to keep my head. Bring back. Bring back. Thank you, Santa Claus, for bringing me cheer. Please bring back.
It's a heartbeat. Do you feel it vibrating?
All right, that was pretty fun. I haven't been through the Haunted Mansion's queue in such a quick time, in a very long time, thanks to that lightning lane pass that they gave us.
Papa, can I get that?
Max, you have that.
All right, we had a request to go to. Trying to find my other glasses here. Here they are. To go to Winnie the Pooh, the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh. So we're gonna go do that now. Ah, it feels so much warmer now. The sun is out. There's still clouds, as you can see, but it's pretty warm. Like that. I think that was a win-win. We got to go on about half of Tiana's Bayou Adventure before the ride broke down. And then they give us a lightning lane pass, which got us into Haunted Mansion super quickly. So hey, that was a win-win-win. All right, let's head over to the Winnie the Pooh ride. I hope it's open. I see some cast members out there. Uh-oh. Let's find out what's happening. A lot of people standing out here waiting for Tiana's Bayou Adventure to come back online. Oh no, Winnie the Pooh is closed. I bet they powered down both of these rides. Let's see what she's doing. She's holding a... Yeah, it's closed, guys. I'm so sorry. We're not gonna be able to go on the Winnie the Pooh, the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Do you guys know when you're opening up again?
No, we're temporarily down. It just went down right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can check the app though.
All right. Yeah, Winnie the Pooh just went down, she said. I could see some people that were standing at the front of the line looking like they were about to turn around and come back out. What a busy day. Well, okay, I've learned my lesson here today, guys. Next Friday when I come, I'm going to be here at Rope Drop or within 30 minutes of Rope Drop because this is so much busier than I thought it would be. Let's see, maybe we can get up to Smuggler's Run and do single rider. That should be quick. This is busier, a lot busier than it was Wednesday. And I would say it's even a lot busier than it was last Sunday. Very busy day today. Friday always seems to kind of be like that. That's why I stopped coming on Fridays and then coming on Mondays instead. But I'll just get here earlier on Fridays. That means you guys will have to get up earlier if you want to be on the live stream and in the chat with me. Yes, I agree. Walking around the river is always cool, especially on this side. Oh, today was the hottest day in 7 days. I could believe it. 81 degrees. Wow. You know it's busy when the line is all the way back here. See this? This is like the busiest of busy when you have the switchback queue going all the way down here almost to the bridge that I just walked under. I love all these noises. Like some natural noises like the birds and some really odd, strange monster noises here. Some frog noises. For those of you that haven't heard the news, Disneyland just raised the prices of single-day tickets, multi-day tickets, and Magic Keys. Outrageously expensive for some, and then for others not so expensive. It's still expensive, no matter how you look at it, but some tickets have been raised by $3, some by $5, some by $10. The key that I have, what do I have? I have the top Magic Key. I think it's called the Inspire Key. I think that's the one I have. It's the top one. That is going to cost $150 more now when you buy it. So that's pretty expensive. The top level key, when I have to renew next year, next September, is going to be $1,950. Oh my gosh. That is insane. I worked it out to how much that is per visit though. And because I come usually 3 days a week, 50 weeks out of the year, because even my key has 2 weeks blocked out, the 2 weeks before Christmas, including Christmas Day and New Year's. I think I worked out that the new price will be like $13.33 per day each time I come. And of course, the top level key, you don't pay for parking either. That's included. So that saves you $35. If I had to pay for parking every day that I came, I would not come. Not with 2,000 subscribers. If I had like maybe 20,000 subscribers, then it would probably be worth it to pay the parking. But yeah, if they ever take that parking feature out of the top Magic Key, I think they're going to lose a huge number of Magic Key holders, because that's the main. There's two main reasons to get the top key of the Magic Keys. One is you only have like 14 days that are blocked out every year, and they're all contiguous, I guess is the right word to use. They're all in a row, 2 weeks before Christmas. And then the parking, which costs $35 a day, is included with the top level ticket. So far, so good. All right, off to Smuggler's Run we go. Hello everybody, this is Indiana Holmes. Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, and hit that notifications button so you don't miss any of our content. I do Disney walkthroughs, ride-throughs, Knott's Berry Farm, a few other things, as well as history videos. Sometimes on a walk and talk like this morning at the beginning of our live stream, and sometimes they're at a specific ride or attraction like the Mark Twain or the Columbia, where I go deep into the history. I am looking to get to 2,000 subscribers. I think I'm about 40 subscribers shy of 2,000. So if you could please subscribe, you would help me a lot. I would appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, off to Smuggler's Run, single rider. This is a good day to do single rider. Every day is a good day to single rider, but especially here because it is icy cold in the single rider hallway that I'm about to go through, and it is a warm 81 degrees here at the park today. This hallway here is like a refrigerator. I'm sure it is close to 40 degrees or 42 degrees. It's very cold, which is wonderful on a hot day like this. Woohoo! 99 Lakes. Thank you, Haunted Minnie, for posting that. All right, everybody goes this way, but I go this way because this is usually people don't know to turn left, which is like making a U-turn up these steps. So this is the faster of the two stairways that take you to single rider, because there's different single rider loading ports, and this is the one that's always the fastest. But most people don't even see this one, they just go straight ahead.
Yeah.
One single rider in the back, please. One single rider in the back.
All right. Hi guys, how are you? What's our color?
Sign the color red today, okay?
All right, we're red. I'm live streaming.
Oh, live streaming!
Right, you guys can have a look around, explore the ship. We'll call you straight.
So where are you guys from?
Utah.
All right, Utah in the house. Say hi to your friends. This gets recorded so you can go back and look at it later and see yourself saying hi to everybody.
And what is your user?
The channel is Indiana Holmes.
Okay.
Indiana Holmes, like my other brother Indiana Jones.
Okay.
But I'm Indiana Holmes.
Yay!
What part of Utah do you guys come from?
Where's Salt Lake?
Oh, very good. I've been to Salt Lake.
Yes.
My family, my grandparents were Mormons and lived up that way. And one time, like after I got out of college, a buddy of mine and I, we went traveling around, and we went to that Mormon library, and we found my grandparents' name in the book of like all the Mormons and all their like relatives and like cows they owned and chickens. It was crazy.
Yes.
Color red over here?
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
All right, here we go. We got Red Minnie Mouse with us.
I got the color on the inside.
Hello, Elizabeth from Sweden.
Or I could go in the back if you want to see your mom. It is? Okay. Okay. You go.
Perfect. You're gonna learn on the route all the way down.
All right, all right, all right. I like how nice and chilly and cool it is in here.
It is so good.
Today's flight takes you to the planet Corellia. You will be intercepting a first-order train shipment of coaxium. Behind the train, and engineers, you are
Let's get two Corellium. Let's get two coaxiums.
solutions.
We need two coaxiums, guys.
For your safety, remain seated and supervise younglings. Por favor, permanezcan sentados y cuide a los niños.
Like crew, we do have seatbelts are on the sides for you, for example. Okay. There are the seatbelts over here. Check your. Once you're ready. ready, tug on that yellow tab. Tug, 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 tug. Oh, the muffin root.
Not enough. Time is money.
May press your flashing on Tessa.
Flight engineer, prepare this. Hit your flashing buttons. You'd better be faster when we get into real trouble. Right, pilot? Push the flashing button to take off. Pilot on the left. Move your stick to fly right and left. I was just about to say that. Pilot on the right. Easy, eh? Weapons are online. Left, pilot. Hit the boosters. Now let's go get that coaxium. Right, pilot. Make the jump to light speed. There's the train. Come, Papa. Those heavy ties are protecting the train. Take them out. They've locked onto us. Take evasive action. Gunners, we need to defend ourselves. Open fire. Gunners, blast away. Blast. There it is. After that train. Fire engineer. Fire the harpoon. Excellent. Now, gunners, shoot the cargo free. Silent brakes. My friends, that could have been much worse. Okay. Oh my God. It's much worse. Excellent, my friends. Now power up the ship. Well, I grab the coaxium. You see, just as I promised, my friend. Now that the resistance are ready, maybe a little something for Hondo. Pilots, line up behind the train so we can harpoon that last car. Get behind the train. Runners, shoot the train. Yes, keep flashing those controls. The cargo's breaking free. Keep shooting. Good job, my friends. Yes. We got the coaxium. I will grab it. You keep up to the train. Gunship. Oh, that's ridiculous. It's getting too hot. We've got to get out of here. Yes. A distraction! Fire the missiles at the train! Hurry! It's coming down! Left pilot, hit the boosters! Boost! We made it! I don't believe it, but we made it! Now, let's get out! Your hyperdrive has failed. Pilots, evasive maneuvers. We've got company. Chewie's right. If we lead them back, they may find the resistance. Only 3 left. You did it. Watch out! That's going to be about. Yes, Chewie will pilot us in remote. You retrieve 2 containers of coaxium.
All right, 2!
This would greatly help the resistance. You have heard the first order and made Chewie proud. Now, after my modest profit, your cut minus what you owe me for damaging the Falcon is... Oh, that is rough.
What is it? What's for?
All right, I'm making an executive decision. Everybody out. Go on, get out.
Run. Get out.
That was good, you guys. It's hard to get to. We had the hotshot pilot. It's hard to get 2 coaxium. That is really difficult. Usually people just get 1.
That was fun.
200. It was nice to get a nice cool break in here. That was pretty cool. We got 2 coaxium. Usually on cruise I'm with, we only get 1. We had a couple of young guys here and they knew how to fly.
What are you streaming on?
YouTube.
YouTube?
Yeah, Indiana Holmes, Holmes.
Okay.
Like Sherlock.
That was awesome.
Thank you for riding with us.
Thank you for being such great pilots and gunners. You guys were amazing. The best ever.
Thank you.
And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. That was a fun crew. That was the most fun crew ever. Those ladies and those 2 young boys were so spirited and so good. Oh, look, we got Ray Skywalker over here.
Because I was 3 years old.
I know, you're much bigger now, huh?
He's like 30, right?
You're 30?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, you look great. Oh, you're 4. Okay. So
Yeah,
it has
I
been a
just had my
while.
birthday.
Really? Well, what day was your birthday?
So cute. Cute little kid there in a stroller. He's 4 years old. All right, lots of people coming this way. Boy, Fridays during the summer were not as busy as this. So I am guessing that this is mostly locals now that have like the least expensive Magic Key, the SoCal Pass, I think they call it. Ooh, yeah, 190. Thank you, Haunted Minnie. So wouldn't we multiply that by 2? Be like 380 eyes, 380 eyeballs. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna stop over here for a moment so I can read the chat. There's actually little tables here. They didn't used to have these with chairs. Okay, let's see what people are saying here. 55 minutes wait time for, oh my gosh, Radiator Springs. 200 minutes? So Indiana Jones is 55 minutes. Radiator Springs is 200 minutes. That's insanity. Oh my gosh. We're now up to 82 degrees. This is probably the warmest part of the day. It's going to get cooler probably after 3 o'clock. Thought about going into August Cantina there, but it looked like the line was going to be about 30 minutes. So another time. I have done videos on August Cantina. If you've never been inside August Cantina or you've never seen any videos from inside August Cantina, then just search on my channel. I've got 2 or 3 videos I've made of being in August Cantina. And the cool thing about August Cantina is even though Paul Reubens is no longer with us, he's passed on, so his character Pee Wee Herman is no longer with us except for on his Pee Wee Herman show episodes and in his movies. He still lives on here at Disneyland because the robot Reubens, so you can hear him talking and spinning discs and just being a goofball. So a little bit of Pee Wee Herman lives on here in August Cantina at Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland, although not in the... Woohoo! All right. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers this October. Today is the 10th, so we have about 21 days left to get to 2,000. But it would be great if we got there sooner rather than later. Wow, it's so busy here. I'm not used to it being so busy. It was not this busy this summer, not at all. Even on the busiest days, it wasn't this busy. At night, it got busier for sure. Which is why I didn't come at night much in the summer. But I'll probably come at night, maybe next week.
No, you want like a photo?
So we can see the World of Color over in California Adventure and Fantasmic over here and the projection show and fireworks on Main Street. All those are good things I love. We went into the Mad Hatter Mad Hatter shop here on Wednesday with Lizzie for her birthday and Willow, our youngest daughter, and she wanted to get the classic original Mickey Mouse hat with the sewing machine or embroidery machine embroidering her name Willow on it. So she came in here and picked that out. She could have picked any hat, but in the end she wanted the classic one. I like these little character heads that you can put on a band, like this one. Like here's Mickey the vampire, and Minnie. Ah, we just missed the cavalcade. It just went by. Shoot. I guess we'll go on Alice in Wonderland because I'm right here and the line is short. So Alice in Wonderland up next. Let's see if I can clean my lens better with some lens cleaner. Got these little lens cleaning wipes that are quite handy. You can get these on Amazon. I think they have them at Walmart and other places too, like that, like in the eyeglass department at Walmart. Probably the same at like Costco or Sam's Club or other places like that. They're great because they have, they're in a little foil envelope and they have, they're saturated with alcohol, so they evaporate really quickly, but the alcohol cleans your lenses really nicely. So here I go, I'm gonna clean my lens. That's me cleaning the lens. There we go. Should be cleaner now. I love your sweater. Oh, both of you look so cool together. Awesome Halloween spirit.
Thank you. Do you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah. I'm streaming now. It's Indiana Holmes. We do like Pardon me? Oh, yeah. I do like history videos and ride-throughs and things like that of Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm. You ever go to Knott's Berry Farm? It's fun. Are you from here locally?
We're from Dallas.
Oh, from Dallas. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys got like Six Flags Magic Mountain down there near Fort Worth or something, right? Yeah.
We always go to Disney World, but we wanted to check out Disneyland.
First time, how many days are you here for?
We did the Oogie Boogie Bash last night, and we leave Sunday. So yeah.
Very nice. That's a good link. How did you like the Oogie Boogie Bash?
It was definitely a lot of fun. Lots
Yeah.
of candy. We have to get a full-size bag.
Were you eating candy last night before you went to bed?
Definitely. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And all how people get to dress up. That's
Yeah.
You could really just sit down and people watch.
Yeah, you could.
See the creativity in their costumes.
Did you see the parade, the special like villains parade?
Oh, yeah.
That's
That was awesome.
the coolest.
We did the dessert party.
The what party?
The dessert party.
Oh, the dessert. So you get to
Definitely
sit like
worth
on
it.
the edge, right? You get a special table.
Yeah.
Nice. You guys are doing it right. Deluxe.
Yeah. We did our research, but
Good job. Good job. Yeah, I wish they would make more Alice in Wonderland movies. I mean, there's a lot you could do with the characters that are in the Alice in Wonderland stories, right? You could have different stories, different animated films, even if they were short films. They could be, led by the White Rabbit in one and the Mad Hatter in another. It doesn't always have to have Alice in it. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity there. Anybody can do that, I mean, a lot of people think that the Disney company owns Sleeping Beauty and Snow White and Pinocchio and Mr. Toad and Alice in Wonderland, but those were all fairy tales. Some of them are hundreds of years old, and they existed long before Walt Disney was even born, and they're in the public domain. So anybody can do a Sleeping Beauty, a Snow White, a Alice in Wonderland, a Mr. Toad, which, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride comes from Mr. Toad, who is just one of the characters, although an important character, in the book The Wind in the Willows. We read The Wind in the Willows on my channel, Storytime with Indiana Holmes. Although I'm not sure, maybe it was still on this channel when we were reading those. So there is a playlist on this channel called Storytime with Indiana Holmes. But, and there's a bunch of stories and books on there, but I didn't have my YouTube studio set up then, so the audio is not that great on those. Now that I'm recording my book reading in my little YouTube studio, which is just another bedroom that we turned into a studio after my daughter moved out, and now I have like very professional audio and video. It's looking pretty good. If you guys are interested in checking that out, check out my other channel, Storytime with Indiana Holmes. We just reached 100 subscribers on that channel because it's a new channel. And we are currently reading the book, The Great Gatsby. We have read the first about 2.5, 3 hours of it. So I think tonight we drop chapters 5 and 6. We've read chapters 1 through 4. And those new chapters drop every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for about an hour, give or take a few minutes. Sometimes the chapters end where we've read 45 minutes, and sometimes the chapters end where we've read up to 115 minutes, or not 115 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes. So yeah, if you like hanging out and doing your crocheting or your needlepoint or your knitting or drawing or painting or something, and you want to hear a story in the background, you can tune in to Storytime with Indiana Holmes Monday through Friday, or anytime you want, actually, because once the videos premiere, they're on the channel forever. Every week I release them, each chapter or each hour, one per night, Monday through Friday. But after I get them up there, I then take all of the chapters and I re-edit them into one continuous book. So that's another way to watch and listen mostly.
Check out Tiana's restaurant, availability there.
I know, I'm so bummed I haven't been able to. I'm just reading through the chat here. Jessica said she misses Big Thunder Mountain. So do I. I'm really bummed I haven't been able to go on it for, seems like 2 months now. It's been down a long time. And there's no like published time when it's coming back. It's just out. You know, we just don't know. And every time I walk by, it looks like they haven't got anywhere close to being finished with the renovations or the repairs or whatever it is that they're doing. Hello, Father and Son Homestead. We are doing awesome too. I'm glad you're doing awesome. How you, Main Street Paul? How you doing, Main Street Paul? Main Street Paul and I hung out here at the park and live streamed and went on rides together and had lunch together last Sunday. It was a lot of fun. I really had a good time hanging out with you, Paul. I have not yet done Indiana Jones, no. No, we only really, it's so busy today. I was just trying to do single rider lines, so we went on Tiana's Bayou Adventure. That was the first ride, and then it broke down. So Main Street Paul, if you want to see some backstage behind the scenes, scroll back on the live stream on the Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and you'll see me get evacuated off the ride. You get to see a bunch of backstage stuff, which is pretty cool. You guys look so cute. Good job, Mom. I know Mom did all this. Oh, no, this is really? All right. Good. Way to go, Dad. Gotta treat them right. I have 2 daughters too, so I get it. That's cool. There's a girl dad. He bought all the dresses for his daughters and dressed them all up and got them all looking matchy-matchy and very festive. And Mom fessed up that Dad did it all. That's a good dad. Daughter dad. Girl dad.
No, we've actually got it online.
Hi, how you doing? 3 hours and 20 minutes, I'm sorry. There is nothing worth waiting 3 hours and 20 minutes for. Not in terms of a theme park. I won't wait that long for a ride or for food, but I understand if you've traveled a long ways, if you're from far away or another country or the East Coast or something, another continent, then maybe it's worth waiting if you have a multi-day pass, but I wouldn't want to burn 3 hours and 20 minutes on one ride if I was here just for a day or a weekend even. Just better to come back later, you know. If you come back to Radiator Racers or just about any ride, the last hour the park is open, it's usually just a walk-on, especially over in California Adventure, because California Adventure has the World of Color twice a night. And whenever they're running the World of Color, most people, you know, the majority of people like go see that show. So during one of the World of Color shows, you can go over to Radiator Racers and pretty much just walk on, maybe have a 20-minute wait at the most. But I usually go the last show of the World of Color, and then getting on Radiator Racers is not a problem. Ah, very good, RX1 Night. I'm glad you guys had a good time. I'm a girl dad too. I have 2 daughters. Although they're both adults now, but we took them to Disneyland many times. Especially when Lizzie was still working at the Disney Studios, because then we could come for free all the time. And even they even have the Disney company even has special nights, which are employee-only nights, where the public isn't allowed to come like after 6 p.m. And then the Disney employees, we're talking about the studio, like ABC TV, and the Disneyland and California Adventure Park employees, all the employees. We just get to come to the park from 6 p.m. until they close. They usually close later on those days, usually about 2 a.m. I should say. So you get to go from like 6 p.m. to about 2 a.m. It's pretty fun. But Lizzie hasn't worked for the studio in many years now, so now we have to buy our own passes. Any day you get to spend with your daughter's a good day. And once your daughters are adults and not living in the house with you, you appreciate them even more. I'm always buying snacks and ice cream and stuff that my daughters like, so that they'll stop by the house after work once or twice a week to eat a treat. Yesterday I stopped and bought $48 worth of See's candies. I was a little bit in shock when I saw how much that rang up for, but See's candies, they charge you by the pound and they weigh it on a scale. And I don't like the creamy kinds of candies. I only like dark chocolate and mostly like nuts or nut-filled chocolates or those kind of honeycomb wafer ones. So they're more weighty. And man, when they rang that up and it was $48, I just about fell over, but it was worth it because my daughters love See's candies, and they're gonna be coming over tonight, and we're gonna go to a musical, the musical Heathers, and I'm gonna create a couple of bags of See's candies each for them, so that they can munch on those during intermission time tonight. Have fun! Don't fall down any rabbit holes! All right, here we go, guys. Gotta watch for that Cheshire Cat. Down, down, down into the hole in the ground.
My adventures in Wonderland began when I followed the white rabbit down the road. All of a sudden, I fell. Down, down, down.
Oh, looking for the white rabbit. Wow.
Important date. I'd like to say hello, goodbye, bye.
Some of the flowers aren't singing.
This way.
Lost her chance? I'm not sure where I am either.
Hey, don't go, please.
You could try. This way.
Once again, the guards are not working. They should be moving around. That's been about a month like that.
Your Royal Majesty, the Queen of Hearts, and the King.
Shall we play croquet?
Rule 42, the Queen always wins. That's enough! With their heads
Thank you, Busy Bee Zombie.
Where'd she go?
Like that shirt, that's nice. Yeah, you can see over here at Storybook Land, they still have the construction wall up. The top of Monstro's head is now visible, and these rocks back here are visible. They still have scaffolding and scrims up all along the train tracks for Casey Jr. So they may be finished with the storybook part of it, but the Storybook Canal part of it, but the Casey Jr. track looks like it's still being worked on. So no word yet from any Disney officials on when that's going to open. But we will be getting a new castle along the canals there. We're going to get the Tangled Castle and some signs offering a reward for Flynn Rider. Okay, I think it's time for a merch search. I'm still hunting for a really good shirt with lots of characters on it. The favorite shirt that I wanted to get, as some of you have heard from me before whine about this, I did not buy it the first time I saw it when they had my size. And now the last 2 weeks I've been going and checking, and they still only have smalls, extra smalls, and mediums. No larges or extra larges. But they say to keep checking back, that they get restocked, but I don't know. It may be they're just not going to restock that one anymore. We'll see. But maybe there'll be some other one that'll be better than that. So that's why you always got to check. You know, if you come to the park often and you're looking for some kind of specific item of clothing or some kind of a specific keepsake or toy, you just have to check every time you come. Ooh, it's warm over here. I want to go to Pixie Hollow one of these days. There's a long line right now, but I'm going to wait till it's really cool. Maybe when I rope drop next week, I will come early and see if Tinkerbell is there in Pixie Hollow. I think Sundays are going to be a good day for rope dropping.
That is your, what is it called? Pumpkin? Yeah. I don't get it either. Yes. Okay, like down. But yeah.
Astro Orbiter. Okay, I'm gonna head to that shop and look for that shirt again. If they ever get a large in of that same design with all the characters on it, I am definitely getting it. It's not really my color, it's sort of a creamy yellow, but it has all these great characters on it. And I did buy a blue shirt that's similar to it. Not as nice a fabric though. It's like rayon or something. But it only has Mickeys on it, although it is cute. It has Mickey as an astronaut, Mickey as an artist, Mickey as an adventurer, all these different styles of Mickey in different clothes. So I'll be using that for my podcast when I start recording my podcasts, my video podcasts. They'll be on YouTube. And I'll also upload them to a podcast platform. But those are going to be more in depth than our walk and talks like we did this morning. So I have to get the to get everything right. I have to get all my facts and all of my trivia organized before I do that. Kind of do it episode by episode kind of thing. All right, here we are, the Castle Brothers shop. This is the one I keep coming back to, trying to find that shirt. Yeah, they don't have any more. See, this is the shirt I bought, which looks awesome. Super cool. But that's not the one I've been trying to buy. Yeah, I don't even see it anymore. I bet they took it away. See, now we're getting flannels because they're getting ready for the winter Christmas holiday stuff. So now it's starting to be flannels. So those other shirts that I've been hunting down, they just only got them in one time. And then when they sold out of the sizes, extra large and 2XL, they just didn't get any more in. Ah, so sad. Old school. Wow, this looks like early 1960s style Disneyland for the winter. That would be cool. You're just paying for that Donald. 25% off. They're trying to sell through all of that. Probably over at the Emporium. I don't see any Halloween merch here. See what I was talking about? Here's another one of those windbreaker. That's what's on the back. Mickey Mouse Club. And then they got the Mickey Mouse Club tote bag, which is actually really nice. And then the Mickey Mouse Club long sleeve shirt. That's the front, nothing on the back. I do like these Mickey Mouse Club gigantic coffee mugs with these really nifty lids, all ceramic. I thought they were metal at first, but they're ceramic. You got the blingy Mickey. I think I like it in red better. Okay, let's get over to the Emporium over there and see if they've got any new cool shirts for me. I want those button-down shirts with the collar. These denim jackets are really cool. Oh my gosh, look at that. Old school trad wife 1950s style. Kind of a house dress. All right, here we go. Into the belly of the... They're like a giant Winnie the Pooh. That's so cute. They have those in backpacks. I'm looking for the backpack one. Yeah.
I think I saw it 2 stores down.
Yeah?
That way?
Okay.
Maybe.
Thank you. YouTube.
YouTube, what's your channel?
Indiana Holmes.
Okay.
Holmes.
Awesome, thanks.
Say hi to everybody.
Hi, guys.
All right. Here we are in the belly of the beast. This is the biggest and busiest of the Disney stores that are inside the park. There is a much larger one that we've gone through a couple of times over in downtown Disney, and that really has a lot of stuff in it, but this one's second biggest, second best. Has a lot of great stuff, sweatshirts. Looks like they're really going in for these 1960s windbreaker style of jackets. This is the second one I've seen. I like that. That is very cool. Look at the font on this. Oh wow, that is really cool with the castle. All embroidered too. And then these are awesome if you like purses. It's a really nice size purse.
We did have one at one time and then gone.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so here's a new arrival. Just in. This is a flannel, and this is screen printed on the back. That's pretty cool. You got Daisy and Minnie in the bottom, and you got Pluto and Mickey on top, in the middle, and Donald and Goofy here. And then on the front, you have embroidered Mickey And then down here, embroidered Mickey and Friends. That is actually pretty cool. Okay, let me see how much this is. It's probably gonna be like $80. It is, I was correct, $79.99, $80.
Oh, that's cute.
So many cute Disney things, just very spendy.
You don't even know where that is.
Yeah, it's all t-shirts and sweatshirts back here. Button-down shirts, I guess, are only really a summer thing and late spring. Oh, a Chippendale. A Chippendale, look at them. Chippendale are my favorite characters after Mickey. After Mickey Mouse, Chippendale. This is like a Letterman's jacket style zip-up sweatshirt, not a real Letterman's. Oh, it's all embroidered. It's like sometimes they cheap out and they just, look at the acorns all down the sleeve. Sometimes they cheap out and they just do the screen printing, but this Chippendale is all embroidered. Wow. Let's see how much this is. I'm gonna guess it's $130. Let's see. Oh, actually, this is kind of a bargain. It is $89.99. I say a bargain just because how expensive things are. I mean, in reality, I think it should be $60. But hey, look at this. This one right next to it. It's got Mickey Mouse embroidery all the way down the sleeve. Then it's got Mickey here. And then it says, "Here comes the mouse known around the world." This is all embroidered work. And then, oh boy, it's Mickey. And then another embroidered Mickey, authentic original. Let's see, because this is Mickey, I bet it's gonna be more than 90. I bet it's gonna be something like 110. Nope, also $89.99, so that's a pretty good deal, I gotta say. This one is awesome. It's like Radiator Springs inspired racing windbreaker. Christmas stuff. All the Christmas stuff is here. These are cute. Those are for little kids, but they have ones for adults as well. If you like these kind of shoes, these Crocs. I'm not a Croc fan, but I think those are pretty good because they're only indoor kind of house slippers. And then this is a really nice Christmas shirt as well. Halloween merch is 25% off, but not the Nightmare Before Christmas merch. That's pretty cool. I actually don't see the 25% off signage today, but it was on there on a Wednesday and on Sunday of last week. Now I don't see those 25% off signs, so maybe they're only putting those 25% off signs on weekdays or maybe even Sundays. All right, we'll go in through the Main Street Magic Shop and then into the clothing store there, which I think is gonna be all Halloween stuff, so maybe that's where the Halloween bargains will be today. Let's see if they're 25% off over here or not. Some Christmas stuff in here now. Ooh, this is really nice. I like that. That is cool. All embroidered. All these villains. Scar. Nothing on the back. It's pretty nice though. Let's see, how much are these? $75. That's not bad. The denim jacket's even better. More Halloween stuff. Yeah, they don't show the 25% off here. So I think they're doing that on and off depending. I think when they get new Christmas merch in, then they want to move the Halloween merch as quickly as possible, so they put it on sale. I love the Mickey vampire. That's awesome. Okay, there's one more shop next door. Yeah, we're getting a lot of Christmas stuff. That whole corner is Christmas stuff. Celebrate Happy, the 70th anniversary. Ooh, that's nice. Look at the back of this. That is really nice. You get the castle with the fireworks and the embroidered classic characters. And this is $70. That's pretty good for $70 if you want a sweatshirt, but they've had this all year long. Well, since July. 70th anniversary. And they're still the same price, $65. Okay, so I'm gonna have to look on the website, see if I find what I want there. Oh, there's Minnie. How cute is that?
Just them two. You too? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Ready?
I didn't see any bands today. I didn't see the Dapper Dans or the Straw Hatters or anybody. Huh. Okay, my friends, thank you for joining me today. I've got to get back home and get some dinner, get hydrated, because tonight I'm taking my daughters and my wife to see Heathers the Musical, which is a stage play. And so I got to get home for that. Also, if you're around at 6 p.m., go to my other channel, Storytime with Indiana Holmes. We'll be reading our third hour of F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please do me a favor and subscribe. We're trying to get to 2,000. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. Love to you all. This has been Indiana Holmes. Bye-bye.